you abandon your journey. Right, turn to Romans 12. We're going to talk about what the world needs. What the world. I want to tell you first what the world does not. The world does not need. The world does not need another entertainer. Does not need another. And the world does not need another politician. We have enough of. They give you two parts of the link during the Sunday school. And I'm going to give you the other two parts at worship time. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to come up to me after the session and drill me up against the wall. Don't have to. Are you ready for this? So it is. It's what the world needs. The world needs male men and female women. First, foremost, fundamental. The world needs male men and female women. The Bible tells us in Genesis 1, verse 27, that God made them male and female. The world needs more male men, female women. Foundation for the next 3 points I'm going to give you needs male men. God created your body. He created your body, and your body needs nutrients. Your body needs food, calcium, vitamin, amino acids, all of that stuff. And if you don't get it at all, your body suffers. If you do not get it in the right proportion, your body suffers. You know people who are diabetic, or people who take insulin, you know people who are on dialysis. Something was out of proportion. I mean they did it intentionally, but something is out of proportion. God created male men and female women, and we get out of proportion, the world suffers. In God's wisdom, God created animals and plants in places where human beings have not intervened and adversely affected. There is a balance in nature. But when we go into, you'll see, if you go to Atlanta, especially if you go drive through South Carolina, you will see deer having been killed on the side of the interstate. Well, what causes that? Well, their natural habitat has been taken away from them. And so instead of them having woods to live in, they're out on the side of the highway trying to find grass. But it's the natural, or uh, if you go into an area and you kill all of the birds, then the insects will overmultiply. So God created the world, and there's a delicate balance. When that balance is disturbed, we suffer. God created a delicate balance between men, male and female. Isn't it interesting that I remember years ago, a man wrote an article. He's a sociologist, a psychologist, something from Nashville, Tennessee. And his argument was that men should have multiple wives because there were not enough men so every woman could have a husband. So he wrote that article and he published it in the Jackson Sun newspaper in Jackson, Tennessee. So I decided to write a response. Before I wrote the response, I went to the hospital and got the birth records. In a 20-year period of time, it had been the exact same number of boys born as there were girls. But why was the number disproportionate now? Because boys do more hazardous stuff, gets them killed at an earlier age than girls do. Now, I have to admit, though, that girls are beginning to act as crazy as boys in a lot of places. But when I was growing up, drag racing, trying to negotiate a curve at 90 miles an hour, girls didn't do that. No girls were out drag racing. No girls got stabbed at the club by another girl. Never heard of that. No girls were shooting dice behind the barn and couldn't pay and killed some. That never happened. But the guys were getting killed. I don't know of a girl who was killed as a homicide when I was growing up. But I know some guys who stabbed, shot, guys selling drugs and thrown over in the river. So by the time they all got to the age of 20, 10 to 15% of the boys were dead. Girls still living. But God's wisdom gave an equal number at the hospital. So I put that in that response to him. So the world needs male men, female. Many men were acting like women. Some think they're women, and too many women acting like men, and some think they are. Any questions? Don't hesitate to ask questions. World needs. That's the first. Right. What time do we end?
9:20.
9:20. You already have it. I know you'll be clapping me against the wall. I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. Number two. No questions? All right, the second thing, the world needs more male men and female women who are married as husband and wife. world needs for male men, female women who are married as husband and wife. Genesis 2 and verse 18, marriage is a God idea. It's not just a good idea. Now, don't make this mistake. Often we attempt to interpret God's design in view of my negative experience, and then we become negative about what God designed. Focus on church people, all they're saying is they have a bad experience. Okay? But don't do that. If your child didn't treat you right, don't castigate children. That's not the way you address that. The world needs for male men and female women who are married as husband and wife. Marriage is a social relationship that models the glory of God and visibly reflect his fellowship with his people. If we don't have marriage, then what reflects God's glory in the earth? Listen to this from Ephesians. In Ephesians chapter 5, Paul writes to the church at Ephesus. He talks about husbands loving your wives. He talks about wives being in subjection to the husband. And he goes through all of that, talking about how beautiful that is. And then he gets to verse number 32. And he said, this mystery is great. But I'm speaking in reference to Christ and the church. So God depends on marriage to reflect his relationship between Christ and the church. That's what he expected to do. But what happens if there are no marriages? What happens? Where is the reflection of Christ and the church? Where is that going to be? That's God's design. So the world needs more male men and female women. And let me give you a couple of shocking statements. Who in here has never been married? If you have never been married, raise your hand. So everybody has been married. Well, you, only one person? Who threw something? You? Marriage is the most delicate and intricate of all social relationships. It's the most delicate, it's the most intricate of all social relationships. It is the hardest relationship to navigate. It's the hardest relationship. All of you been married, you know that. But let me shock you. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. That's the way God designed it. He didn't design marriage to make you happy. He designed marriage to make you holy. men and baby get married. Don't be happy. No, he designed marriage not to make you happy. God doesn't care about your happiness in marriage, but he does care about your holiness. Marriage is designed. Anybody go to the gym, exercise, and I lift weights and stuff like that? Weights are not designed to keep you pain free. If you go to the gym all the time and exercise and you don't ever have any pain, you don't exercise. Weights are designed to do what? Make you painful. That's all. So if you quit exercising because you have some pain, ever have biceps like this?
Oh,
You can't quit this because of pain. Yeah, I quit. I have pain. I quit. I got to go. It's good pain. You know, marriage is supposed to. Now, I want you to write this down. Really, you need to write this down. I'm going to give you full definition. And you need to study this. And when you meet people who are thinking about getting married, you need to understand this. Because very few people understand what marriage is. Marriage is a witness. Marriage is a witness. Marriage is a witness. What I mean by witness, God witnesses it. And if you get married, the state witnesses it. That's why they give you a license. Marriage is a witness, bilateral covenant. It's a witness, bilateral covenant. What I mean by bilateral, two parties. In the legal sense, it's what's called offer and acceptance. Your husband and wife. I saw a couple of other days, and a woman over there, and I gave him a compliment. And he said, "No, man, it's my sister." How long you been married? Okay. Did you propose to her? He offered himself to her. And guess what? She accepted. She said, "No thanks, you wouldn't be married." So he offered himself to her. And then she, in turn, offers herself to him. That's indicated in the marriage vow. So it's a bilateral. See, if it wasn't a bilateral, somebody could run around and say, "I'm marrying you," and you have no choice in it. He offered himself and accepted. Now, for an expanded view of that, I believe it's Genesis 27. It's not 27. Abraham's servant went to find a wife by Isaac. What chapter is that? Genesis 21. Went to find a wife by Isaac. So when they found her, she was out watering the sheep. And that's another technique. If you want to get a husband, be doing something worthwhile, and you will be discovered. You don't have to buy a red dress, put it 18 inches up above your knee. He's doing something worthwhile, and you can be discovered. You can be discovered. Genesis 24. Yes. Okay, in Genesis 24. So they called Rebecca and said, "Will you be this?" So he came looking for a wife. He offered himself, and she accepted. So with marriage is a witness, bilateral covenant between a man and a woman, not between men and women and women. Marriage is a witness, bilateral covenant between a man and a woman for gender complementary. COMPLEMENTARY. For gender complementary. Social companionship for life. So marriage is witness, bilateral covenant between a man and a woman, gender complementary and social companionship alike. Remember, God saw Adam, he said it's not good for man to be alone. There was no help meet for him. Okay? So what did he do? He made a gender complementary woman for complementary and social companionship. The animals were not adequate. Eve was not identical to Adam because if Eve had been identical to Adam, he could have been complete by himself. Men and women are supposed to be different. Now, God's created design. So we need to counsel people to get married. First Timothy chapter 5, verse 14. Put that verse up for it. First Timothy just 5 and verse 14. So I told you yesterday you weren't going to like this. Therefore, I want younger widows to do what? Now, what's the order? Get married. Now, Paul is giving prescriptions for life. Get married, bear children, keep the house. What the devil does is he makes people dissatisfied in the role that he wants them to play. Let me give you a parallel to that. How many of you know someone who has a natural talent to do stuff, but they don't like to do it? That's a devil trick. God has given you a natural talent by which you can get rich, but you don't like to do it. The devil has tricked you. Why? You're just the best hair braider in town. I don't like doing it. That's a devil trick. He has tricked you out of your riches. A church member years ago, he was somewhere down in South Georgia. I don't know exactly what city. He had a natural talent for painting. And I mean, he could just paint stuff just unbelievable. He was working at Trailways bus station. $8 an hour. This was over 30 some years ago. He and his wife just struck it fast. At the point of divorce, he went to the Cobb Galleria in near south of Atlanta one weekend and sold his painting and made $3,600. You made $3,600 in 2 days, and you are struggling loading luggage at the bus station because the devil has made you unhappy with the natural talent that God gave you. I mean, go back to all the time. Now, don't use your talent for stuff that's illegal. That ain't no God-given talent. If you got a talent of selling drugs, sell pencils. Sell pencils, don't sell drugs. But maybe some of you just got a talent. And some of you had a talent when you were a child and you resisted it so much and you lost it. You don't even know what it was now. But God has given every person the ability to craft a talent, make you above average income. There's no reason for you to be walking around. Is it? You know, they're calling me. God has given you a talent. And then if you won't use it, the devil make you unhappy doing it. So, we need to counsel people. Use your talent. There are boys in school who are gang leaders. You know one the talent of a gang leader? He can secure, or she can secure, allegiance and cooperation. You can you if you can't get folks to allegiance, follow. What if you took that influence, ability you have, and started business selling peaches? You got 10 boys at school selling $10 worth of peaches for you a day. You are making $100 a day at school instead of being a gang leader and getting folk in trouble. Then you take that same influence that you have, start a company. Do you know that all major companies invite people to motivate their employees? So if you got the ability to convince people to join your game and throw rocks through stores or rob people, you take that same talent and offer the ability to a company to mobilize their employees, you make more money than you ever made in your life with the talent. How many of you have the ability to talk against stuff? Only two people? Use your talent. So start looking for the natural talent in your children early. And don't discourage that. But let me get back to this marriage stuff. You need to count for people to get married. Verse 35, verse 14. So now this segment is to the people. Listen to God. Because I know what somebody's thinking. Is everybody get mad? Let me address that. Listen to God. He speaks through your body. God speaks through some people's body and tell them, I don't want marriage. So I'm not saying everybody has to rush out and get married. That's not my point. But if God is speaking through your body, telling you that you ought to be married, and you are saying no, and then you out there act like you married, got children all over the county, and then somebody, I don't want to get married. And yes, you do. That's what God's telling you. That's why he said in 1 Corinthians 7, 1 Corinthians 7, and verse number 9, you heard this. If you don't have self-control, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. Now, if that's not your issue, then God is not speaking through your body telling you to get married. But if he's speaking through your body telling you to get married, you don't deny that. Stop speaking negatively of the marriage bond. When you do, you are speaking against God and his created order. Because marriage is a God idea. Would you go up to a father and say, man, don't feed your children? Would you go up to a mother and say, don't feed your children? Would you go up to the parents and say, don't protect your children, don't teach your children? Now don't teach your children, don't teach your children alphabets. Don't teach them out of town. Don't discipline your children. You would do that. If you did, you would be opposing God's created order. Marriage is God's created order. So, don't speak against it. You gotta take your deep breath. You meet some people who say, I'm spiritual, I'm married to the Lord. At a church member years ago, you sit up there, that's wrong. And then one Sunday evening, I came into the church building. She was sitting beside of this guy. She and he got angry at me because I wouldn't do their wedding that Friday. I said, you have to have counseling before I say amen. Well, you divorce the Lord, you can't wait more than a week. If you want to get married, now I'm not saying you have to put a sign on your back, but it is okay to say, I want to get married. You want a husband, you want a wife, whatever it is that you want, if God approves of it, it is okay to pray about it and say you want it. It's not unspiritual to say. People think something wrong with me. If you are spiritual, people have the idea of you're spiritual, you can just delay marriage and you know, you can. What time is that for the end? About you. All right, all right. Okay, so I have 15 more minutes. Take another deep breath. Long-term dating is like shopping with no money. When you go shopping with no money, you'll do one of two things. You're going to come home frustrated, or you're going to take something that doesn't belong to you. Long-term dating generates frustration, or you end up taking something that doesn't belong to you. And I don't know what we need to take a long time to kind of learn each other. You're not studying each other. A company will hire you. They will send you through a series of whatever they do to examine looking for an employee. Then put you on 90-day probation and then turn you over to run $1 million company. It don't take 10 years to find the person. You're dating. The American dating process kills marriage. Matter of fact, marriage is destroyed during the dating process by the way people date. So your marriage was killed not because marriage is bad. Your marriage was killed because your dating was bad. That's what kills marriage. Your dating. That's what kills marriage. So your marriage was dead on the day of your wedding. Death was set in. As a matter of fact, there are people who can look at your marriage, your wedding photos, and tell you what's going to happen in that marriage. Mm-hmm. Guess what? I can just about do it. I can look at your wedding photos, tell whether you are really emotionally bonded. I can tell because there are things people do subconsciously. They don't know what to do. You tell. You know that. How many of your children got in trouble in school and they come home from school and they had arts with one another and you go in there and something wrong? You know something by their behavior. No, I ain't hungry. You've been eating at the house every day you come home from school. They don't, you know something is going on. You know something ain't right. I don't care how they try to hide it. They can't hide it. Mama's really paper. You know that. Because they can't hide it. That's why I feel fine. I'm great. and you know better. And some parents can perceive when they're even grown. You go visit your mama says, what's wrong? What are you doing? She knows something is wrong. And then she started asking, boyfriend quit shit. Your husband left you. Child in trouble. You out of money. They know something. And they start fishing. And then you get up and leave soon. Stay over here until 10 o'clock at night. And last you down there. We stayed over 15 or 20 minutes. Something like that. You just can't have that. The world needs male men, female women who are husband and wife. You gotta stop letting unspiritual people make us feel bad about engaging in a spiritual experience. Gotta get excited. All right. We got 10 minutes. I want questions. Questions. Don't be shy. Questions. What do you think of what I just said? Yes.
You stated earlier some, you said something earlier about marriage is social compatibility. The
I would use the word compatibility.
social
So you didn't write that definition down.
complement, social complement.
All right. Let me give you, there's two words, complement, 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 Complement. We use the married couple. What's your name? Dirk. Spell that. D-I-R-K. Oh, Dirk. What's your name? Benita. Benita with a B. Benita cooks dinner. Dirk eats dinner, finishes, gets up and say, this is the best, whatever you cook I've ever had in my life. You are some kind cook. Love you for it. You're just great. That's a compliment with the I. Compliment with the E. And Derek say the same thing. He said, you've already done enough. I got the kitchen. You go rest. I'm gonna clean up the kitchen. I got it. That's with the E. He has completed. So marriage is about two people completing. Now, when I say completing, that doesn't mean you're inadequate. See, she was a chef, whether he recognized the food or not. So he didn't complete her cooking ability. He didn't complete it. The food's already cooked. She knows what she's doing. He recognized it and connected with her to carry it to its, because cooking involves cleaning up the kitchen. Now you understand that when you tell your children to wash the dishes and then they sweep the floor. See, so to fail to understand compliment is immature. How many of you tell your children go in there and wash the dishes? And then wash the dishes and then you wipe off the counter. See, so that social relationship that I'm talking about, you are looking for how can I take what has been done to a higher level? Now, if he turns to you and tells you, I'm great, general, got our children, what age? She's looking at you like you might be wrong right now. Now, If he compliments her with the I, she'll appreciate it. But if he gets up and compliment her with the E, she don't call the church. Your daddy cleaned up the kitchen and daddy. Am I right? See? And you're going to feel so much better and it's so much more connecting. So marriage is the social relationship that we keep looking for ways to connect at a deeper level. So the reason we disconnected, we did not ever connect at a deeper level. And the reason we didn't connect at a deeper level, we then began dating at a deeper level. Our dating never went beyond sex. Sex is not deep enough. Keep a marriage. It's not. So, any other questions? Don't be shy, Pastor. And when you start connecting at a deeper level, you then begin to appreciate and enjoy. It's incredible. Start communicating different. Now, you don't mind cooking, you don't have to have kitchen, do you? Not trying to get you in trouble, but that's just it. That's what it is. See, here's what people don't do. Now watch this. In order to flourish how you feel, you have to participate. As a matter of one of the, let me tell you this, I may have told you this sometime before, but this is a good time to tell you again. Here's what every family should do and start doing this. I used to live in Salt Lake City, Utah. The Mormons control that city. I mean, everything is Mormon. Their temple is in the center of the city. You go west, 100 west, 200. You can't get lost in Salt Lake City. Because if you go into 200 west and 300 south, all you got to do is read the streets. Now you may go the long way around, but everything is numbered from the temple. 100 north, 200 north, 300 north, 100 east. That's how the city laid out. Now, if I can have a fender bender right there in front of the temple, I didn't realize I thought there was a car in front of me until they brought it to my attention. The Mormons at that time had the lowest level of juvenile delinquency of any group of people in America. Every Thursday night, do not go outside of your house. No school events, nothing done in the, and they said, stay at home, have a meal with your family, and go home. They almost had zero juvenile delinquency in Salt Lake City in the 70s. So Thursday night was family night. You don't go out of your house. No school events, no corporate events, nothing official going on in that city, no church events. Stay home, eat together as a family, and talk. That was it. And they had the lowest juvenile delinquency of any group of people in America. Hardly none exempt teenagers getting in trouble. See, you gotta understand the devil's trick. Now, those, I'm on the 7th floor, age-wise. Those of you who know my age, you remember the day when the school system wouldn't have nothing on Wednesday night, wouldn't dare have nothing on Sunday. The devil has invaded schools and pulled children away from church on Sunday and Wednesday. Sororities having brunch on Sundays. See, those are devil tricks. And so they invade those to pull people away from being spiritually informed. The devil trick. So you have to be aware of that. And so there are devil tricks to pull people away from thee. What kind? All right, we got 2 minutes. Question. So you gotta watch that kind of stuff. The devil uses advertising to make people go buy stuff that they don't want and don't even need to impress people they don't even like. So they can be away from each other and spend less time together. Well, we gotta have 3 TVs. So when my fourth cousin come to visit, that's a visit. Even though they don't want to come every 5th year. If you have a TV that has not been turned on in the last 90 days, you don't need it. And so, now, if you can afford to go buy all that stuff, that's something. But if that's causing you to struggle, it is better for you to come home and spend the evening with your children than to have them another iPad that's messing them up. You don't like it, after. Well, you don't like it. You'll get spiritually. But now, well, we'll stop. In a few minutes.